Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Hot Toys Man of Steel Superman 1/6 scale collectible figure. This is MMS 200 Collector's Edition Superman 1/6 scale figure. Before, of course, we have a look at the figure itself, let's have a look at the box, which really is just an absolutely gorgeous looking piece. Of course, we've got the snowscape there, the Superman S, really the point of origin to some extent, where Superman as a character originated in the Man of Steel movie. But you can really see even the detailing in the S is captured perfectly in this package, this box here. On the top of the box, if I flip it down right here, you can see that there's all this really nice, again, this kind of chainmail look, chainmail design in the top of the Superman box. Very similar, actually, to what we got with the Jor-El, carried over here with the Man of Steel himself as well, Superman. On the side of the box, just some more detailing. However, you can see the overlay of the Superman S, the crest of the House of El. On the back, some warning signs, some warning indications. This is an adult collectible, not, of course, a toy. It's recommended for ages 15 and up. And then on the inside, as with Jor-El, on the inside there is a flap. We just open this up. On the inside, you got the Superman figure himself. And, of course, on the side, the cast and crew responsible for bringing the Man of Steel to life. And we'll just zoom in so you guys can have a look at all the individuals, all the people involved in producing this amazing piece. Spot will be taking a break, of course, as always. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this opened up. When we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Superman Man of Steel 1/6 scale collectible figure. There's definitely more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. When I first saw this figure featured online with internet pictures and preview pictures, I knew this was a figure that was going to blow me away. Now, fully realizing this, fully having this in hand, I can really say that this figure is phenomenal. I think Hot Toys did an amazing job on this piece, and I'm so happy that he had finally arrived. Having a look at his face, again, I don't think Hot Toys could have done a better job on the likeness of Superman here. The likeness of Henry Cavill is perfectly captured in this head sculpt. Of course, this is a hand-sculpted piece, but I mean, looking at this looks like it was taken right out of the movie itself. The sculpting on the hair, and really, again, something that I had mentioned with the Jor-El, the paint, the individual paint marks and details that they put in the face. It's absolutely amazing that they put this level of detailing into Superman. Now, Spot's, of course, a huge Superman fan, so, I think I'm a pretty good judge when it comes to Superman pieces. I was extremely, of course, impressed with the Christopher Reeve Superman. And, while not necessarily Man of Steel impressed everybody, I know some people probably didn't like the direction that they went with Superman, Henry Cavill still was a perfect pick to play the Man of Steel. He just really has that... Just really has the look, I think, for an updated design of Superman. Once again, though, the face is just phenomenal. There's the side profile of him. The biggest problem I really would have, if anything, is how am I going to pose the Man of Steel here? He has such a real stoicness, just such a real presence to the way he looks that, just to do him justice on a display will be probably my hardest problem. The detailing, though, on his suit, once again, they've captured this chainmail designed suit that we got in the Superman movie. The Superman emblem, I think, turned out phenomenally. There's a close-up on the detailing there. Despite the fact that he has a suit, and you would really think that the suit has hindered a lot of the sculpts on the detailing on his chest, and of course the rest of the body that they use for him. I mean, things such as his abdomen muscles, of course his pectoral muscle. I mean, even right down, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right down to his bicep, there is, maybe that would, very good. There, right there, you can see that there is a vein that's running down the side of his bicep here. And all that shows through in the costume. This costume is not a sculpted costume. This is simply just material that has been added over top of the true type body that they've used. But they've really invented a new Superman body type. And again, just a lot of these details shine through the costume. The costume does have a sheen to it, which I like. I don't like that it's just a matte material. It's very similar to, I want to say it's very similar to like a wetsuit in the design of the costume, but you can see, like, even zooming in, you can see where it has this individually kind of scaled effect to the suit itself. Again, that chainmail is carried over also to the Superman S emblem, the crest on his chest there as well. And it's a nice raised detail. Right even around the trim of the Superman S is a darker gray coloring. It's not just simply they've put the Superman S on his chest and then all these are, this side of it is unfinished. No, there's actually a darker blue outline around the Superman S, which actually carries over to the display stand that I'll show you in a second. His belt also is a nice added touch. Again, just really, it looks exactly like it did in the movie with the gold middle buckle of the belt, or really the indication of what the belt would be. And then we've got the yellow lining going all the way around, so you can see right around to the back section of the suit there. And again, this really nice gray. It kind of it carries over to really what the movie was. I mean, the movie, Krypton, the things from Krypton, everything had a really organic look to it. And again, the suit has that same organic design to it. Right at the back there, you can see it's got a very, I want to say it's got like a very, almost like an aquarium, almost like an ocean design to it. I mean, this is something I would probably see from, something that like an underwater city, this kind of design effect on the suit. I personally like the suit. I mean, again, some people probably miss, the underoos, the lower trunks of Superman. But for me, it's an updated take to this design. And I mean, of course, they could have incorporated, the lower red trunks. But again, like, it's hit or miss. It could have done well for the suit, or it could have been disastrous. I think it was smart by not incorporating the red trunks into the suit and by keeping it just strictly, a blue suit. His gauntlets are also that same coloring as the gray in the suit section here, the sides of the suit, and it carries all the way down to the sides of his legs, right down to his red boots. Once again, that mesh color that we saw with Jor-El carries over here to Superman, but now in the red, and then he's got even the undersoles of his shoes there, his boots. As dynamic, as impressive as this is, it carries over extremely well to the back cape, which I love these pleats and creases that they've put in the cape itself. The way that they've folded in the cape on the top of his shoulder section here, you've got this really nice folds, really nice creases, and all of it carries over so well with how the cape flows. And there's the back sculpt of the Henry Cavill, the hair on Superman here, which again just really is done phenomenally. Now, in the way of accessories, Superman does come with, I don't want to say he comes with a lot. I mean, in fact, he comes with pretty much the same sort of accessories that we got with Jor-El, although we're not going to be getting the Kryptonian rifle. Of course, as always with every other Hot Toys Superman piece, does come with 3 pairs of extra hands. For starters, he comes with his open hands, with full fingers extended, perhaps reaching out to General Zod, it's possible. He does come with more closed hands, like so. And certainly, last but not least, he also does come with open hands, which would be ideal for Superman if you have him in flight poses or whatnot. As with every other Hot Toys inclusion, they also do give you the additional 2 pegs. So if you are swapping in and out the hands, if you ever have hands with the pegs staying in, you can swap them. You can just use the additional pegs without having to try to get those pegs out of the hands. Or of course, if you have any issues with those pegs breaking, you've got 2 extras to go by. The really neat accessory, though, is you get yourself the Kryptonian command key, which actually has a considerable amount of weight to it. It's a full metal piece with the House of L crested on the front there. I would say this is probably, I don't know, maybe like a brushed, I don't know, like a gunmetal, maybe like a gunmetal gray in the overall coloring of it. But it's got some weight to it, and once again, just driving home that Hot Toys really put a lot of craftsmanship in not only the piece that you're getting, but certainly all the accessories you're getting it with. And of course, like Jor-El, you also get yourself a really neat display base. Now, the Jor-El display base was more a brown color that made up the majority of the House of L crest. In this, with the Superman version, you're getting that House of L, but you're getting it in the more traditional Superman colors, the darker red and the yellow. But I really like, though, and you can see it more when it comes to the display base, that I like that the things such as the yellow and the red are on the foreground of a darker color that's underneath. It gives a real sense of depth to this display stand, and really just to the overall design of the suit as well, because it is a carryover to how the suit looked too, with this extra depth of color. A really nice touch, though. Now you'll see that there's a hole at the top, and before we actually get to that, on the front there's the Man of Steel Superman, but there's a hole at the top, and once again, if you have or had a chance to see the Jor-El figure, there was that similar hole, because Superman also comes with an adjustable and flexible rod. You can take it, and you're just going to screw it in to this display stand like so. Of course, not making sure you're banging the Superman figure at all, but you're just going to twist it in like so. And when it locks into place, like that, you've got yourself a working display stand. Now, you can have Superman on the display stand if you want, or you can do one better. You can also have Superman levitating from the display stand, and such a really neat effect. Now, Jor-El had this. Jor-El had the ability to have him levitating, and I may not have him levitating, but Man of Steel, it's something I could really consider doing, because it has a real absolute presence to just having him displayed floating in the air. I think that's such a really nice touch. Articulation on Superman. He does have a ball-jointed head, so his head does rotate up and down, left and right. He has hinge and socket shoulders, which rotate actually fairly well, despite the fact he's got his suit on. He does have a rotation in the bicep area. He does have a double bend in the elbow, a rotation and pivot in the individual hands themselves. He has the upper torso crunch, which crunches right around here, right around this section here. He has a swivel in the waist, slightly more hindered than I think the rest of the suit is, but more hindered, I think, in the waist section. The legs go forward, back, out. He has a rotation in the thigh. He has a double bend at the knee, and also a rotation and bend in the foot. So, depending on really how you want to display the Man of Steel, you can accommodate it with this figure. While I do admit the Man of Steel movie perhaps not delivered what we had all hoped for with a Superman movie, I think Hot Toys did a phenomenal job on this figure. No argument, I think, can be made to the fact that Henry Cavill is, for me at least, a new definitive Superman. Brandon Routh wasn't too bad, but for me, Henry Cavill could really carry the new legacy of Superman. He's got that look, he's got certainly the build, And for what they've done with the Superman property, providing that they kind of stick to this and don't start changing too much to what they started with Man of Steel, I'm very happy to see where they're going to carry a Superman franchise, whether it be carrying, of course, with Superman Batman, which we'll be getting soon, of course, potential Justice League movies and whatnot. But Hot Toys just blew me away for what they did with the Man of Steel Superman here. The likeness of Henry Cavill is spot on, and I am so very happy that I was able to get this guy and now can display him very, very well with the Christopher Reeves Superman that I have already picked up. If you are a Superman fan, and perhaps, again, if you're not a big fan of the Man of Steel, but really thought Henry Cavill carried a phenomenal Superman role, I think this is a great figure to pick up, and I can't recommend him highly enough. In today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the Man of Steel 1/6 scale collectible figure of Superman. As always, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. Spot's going to be having more reviews, as always, heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.